Intro music begins, somber and evocative. August 1945. The world had been torn apart by 6 years of brutal war. In Europe, the guns had fallen silent. Germany was defeated, its cities in rubble, its leader gone. But across the vast Pacific, the fight raged on. Japan, isolated and blockaded, its cities already scarred by relentless bombing, refused to yield. The national spirit, a powerful force of will, compelled them to fight to the very last person. The anticipated final battles for the Japanese home islands promised a level of bloodshed that was almost unimaginable for both sides. The world held its breath, waiting for an end that seemed impossibly distant and costly. In the halls of power in Washington, D.C., President Harry S. Truman, a man who had only recently inherited the presidency, faced a choice that would define his legacy and alter the course of human history. The military presented him with plans for a full-scale invasion of Japan, codenamed Operation Downfall. Projections were staggering. Casualties could run into the millions, turning the Japanese islands into a graveyard. But there was another option, a terrifying secret. A weapon forged in the deserts of New Mexico, born from the minds of the world's most brilliant scientists. It was the culmination of the Manhattan Project, a colossal, top-secret endeavor. The atomic bomb, a single device with the destructive power of 20,000 tons of conventional explosives capable of wiping an entire city off the map in a blinding, terrifying flash. The choice was his, a conventional invasion with guaranteed, catastrophic losses, or unleashing a power that humanity had never witnessed, with consequences no one could truly predict. The decision was made. Far across the Pacific, on the small island of Tinian, final preparations were underway. On the pre-dawn morning of August 6, 1945, the polished silver fuselage of a B-29 superfortress named the Enola Gay gleamed under the airfield lights. Its crew of 12 men went through their final checks, a quiet tension hanging in the tropical air. Secured in the bomb bay was a 9,000-pound device, an oddly shaped cylinder nicknamed Little Boy. As the bomber's 4 massive engines roared to life, it lumbered down the runway and lifted into the dark sky, climbing towards its destiny. The flight was long and uneventful, a calm before the storm. Their target was a bustling industrial city on Japan's main island, Hiroshima. At 8:15 a.m. local time, flying high above the unsuspecting city, the bomb bay doors opened. The world was about to change, forever. From the ground, it was a beautiful, clear morning. Then, for one silent, searing instant, the sky was ripped open by a light that was not of this world. A flash brighter than 1,000 suns, a silent, blinding whiteness that bleached everything in its path. It was followed moments later by a deafening roar, a physical shock wave that flattened buildings, shattered glass for miles, and tore the very earth apart. In a fraction of a second, the heart of Hiroshima ceased to exist, replaced by a churning, boiling fireball that rose into the sky, forming the iconic, terrifying shape of a mushroom cloud. Within that single moment, over 70,000 people were vaporized, their existence reduced to nothing. Thousands more, caught in the inferno, would die in the hours and days that followed from horrific burns and an invisible killer they couldn't yet comprehend: radiation sickness. The aftermath was a scene from a nightmare, a hellscape where a vibrant city once stood. Fires raged uncontrollably for days, fueled by the wreckage of wooden homes. Those who survived the initial blast wandered through the ruins, dazed, burned, and desperate. A strange, black rain began to fall, thick with radioactive soot and ash, poisoning the very ground and water. One of the most haunting legacies of the bombing were the shadows of Hiroshima. On stone steps and standing walls, The intense heat of the blast had permanently etched the silhouettes of people who were there one moment and gone the next, their bodies shielding the surface behind them. Entire families, stories, and futures were erased without a trace. In the immediate confusion, no one, not even the creators of the bomb, could fully grasp the scale of the horror they had unleashed. It was the dawn of a new, terrifying age, the nuclear age. Yet, even after the unprecedented destruction of Hiroshima, the message from Tokyo was silence. The military leadership, entrenched in their code of honor, debated and delayed. For the leaders in Washington, this was an unacceptable response. So, 3 days later, on August 9th, a second mission was launched. This time, the target was the city of Nagasaki. A different bomb, codenamed Fat Man, was dropped, unleashing another wave of atomic fury and killing tens of thousands more. The double blow was finally enough to break the deadlock. On August 15, 1945, the people of Japan heard a sound most had never heard before. The voice of their emperor, Hirohito. In a historic radio address, he spoke of a new and most cruel bomb, and declared that to continue the fight would result in the ultimate collapse and obliteration of the Japanese nation. He asked his people to endure the unendurable and suffer what is insufferable. Japan would surrender. After 6 long, bloody years, World War II was finally over. In the decades that followed, Hiroshima was painstakingly rebuilt from the ashes, rising as a modern city dedicated to peace. The A-bomb dome, the skeletal remains of one of the few buildings left standing near the hypocenter, was preserved as a stark and powerful memorial. But the world itself was changed in a fundamental way. The bomb that ended the deadliest conflict in human history also began a new one, the Cold War. It ushered in an era defined by nuclear proliferation and the constant, background fear of annihilation. The story of Hiroshima is not just a chapter in a history book. It is a profound and somber warning. It reminds us of the terrible cost of war and the immense responsibility that comes with scientific power. A reminder that humanity now holds the capacity for its own destruction, a power that must never be used again. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story meaningful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. Your support helps us continue to tell these important stories. We'll see you in the next one.